Hello, 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 and happy Friday. Oh my gosh, it's Friday. It is Friday. As you guys are jumping on, make sure you type in the comments what you're grateful for, all the things. We are in the mix on this Friday. I am so grateful and excited about this day. Do me a favor, type your gratitude in the comments. Let me pin this to the top. I am in the mix of the move. Do you guys see? I done took the pictures down. Things are coming down. We are up in this thing. It's happening. It's happening. It is absolutely happening. Go ahead and type your gratitude in the comments, and let me pin this to the top of our Mash Collective so everybody can see it. Because sometimes people can't see it. Let me get to it. Boom. Marked it as an announcement. We up in here and everything is good. All right. So let's make sure that is there. All right. So happy Friday. It is me, of course, Coach P. Welcome to everybody on YouTube, in the Mash Collective, and in Life Mastery Ignite. Grateful for you guys for being here, for being a part of all of the amazingness that is happening. Let me introduce myself. I'm Precious Bivings, affectionately known as Coach P. And of course, I am an intuitive thought leader, and my job is to help folks, right? Decide to live a better, higher, greater, more expansive life by self mastery. I believe that when we master ourselves, we can master our entire life, from your health, your wealth, your relationships. And once you get your health, wealth, and relationships in order, everything else is a piece of cake, piece of pie. Let me also go ahead and send my text out too. If you're in Life Mastery Ignite, go ahead and put an ignite in the comments, some fireballs or something that signifies your ignite, right? Let them know that you're an ignite if you're watching from the Mash Collective. Just type in the comments. So I see all of the comments in one place, but you only get to see the comments based on where you're watching from. So shout out to those who are in YouTube on YouTube. I see y'all too, and I appreciate y'all. Those are my people who are like, listen, I am off the Facebook grid, but I still want my Coach P, Lunch and Live with Coach P. So y'all are watching from the YouTube space. And if you are not following me on YouTube, go to Precious Bivens, type it in and just follow me. I'm up in there. I am there. So let me let these folks know we are live. Let me put it on. Hold on, guys. Trying to multitask. Go ahead and put your gratitude for me, though. I would appreciate that. Thank you very much. Boom and boom. Boom, boom, boom. I think we got it. Yay. All right, so today we're going to talk about some amazingness, right? I'm talking about boundaries today. So if you know folks who would benefit from hearing about boundaries, my coat. If you know folks who would benefit from hearing about boundaries, if you know you would benefit from hearing about boundaries, go and load in. I'm gonna go fast. We're gonna get it hot and heavy. I got some giveaways. Shout out to the folks who have been engaged in the Mash Collective. Y'all have been kicking ass and taking names. I'm so proud of you guys. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. And we got some new folks who on the engagement. You know what I'm saying? Prize list today. So I'm excited about that. But grab your pens, grab your notebooks, grab all the things that you need in order for you to take note, because we are getting to it today. And let me see your gratitude, because I don't see enough gratitude and I need to see more. Hello, Karen. So good to see you. Happy Friday. Sharon is in the building. Sarah, I miss your face, Sarah, and I don't even see your face. Good to see you, Sarah. Good to see your name. Ebony is, of course, in the building. Ebony, Inquire Minds want to know, when are you coming to Ignite? Because you for sure are a part of the family. Adina is here. Happy Friday, Adina. Kimberly is here. So let me see it. Let me get into it, y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey. So again, if you're just joining us, the background looks different because y'all know what the process is. Y'all know we on the move, and I'm excited about it. Let's see. Kimberly says, "Happy Friday. Good morning. I'm grateful to rest under fluffy blankets." Me too. I struggled this morning. The funniest thing happened. Jerome and I, who shout out to Hero Fitness, my personal trainer, we moved my workouts to 9:30 by my request, because Fridays are my later days. And we normally get together at 7:30 Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I told him, let's move it to 9:30. Well, this morning, my body and my mind forgot. So I was up downstairs, got there early to work out on the elliptical. And at 7:30, I was like, I'm not here yet. That's okay. So like by 7:40, I was like, are you okay, bro? I'm like, did something happen? He called me. He's like, hey, remember we're on for 9:30. I was like, damn, I could have slept those extra hours. So got back down at 9:30 and did my thing. But I took a nap in between. I came back up, took a nap afterwards. I'm tired. But that's what moving and shifting and transitioning and all the things. It's been a big week. And so it's been a lot happening. So yeah, I'm with you 100%. Kimberly, I see you. Ebony said, happy Friday, honey. Adina said, I'm grateful we made it safely to Vegas last night. Yes. Come on, Vegas. Have a good time. Adina, listen, Adina stays in the streets, okay? I love it, Adina. I love it. Ebony said, I'm so grateful for true community. Yes. Me too, me too, me too. Karen says, I'm grateful for LMI connections, unconditional love, and support. I love that. That is beautiful. I love that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's see. Sharon said, I'm grateful for a shift in my mindset and worthiness. It's a game changer. Whoop, that is. I thought you knew. Shout out to all the igniters. Y'all up in the building. I see y'all. Hey, y'all. Hey. So good to see you guys. All right. So let me get into it. If you haven't clicked the link above, I can't see your name, so I don't know what you're saying. Lou Leak is in the building. Luann, good to see you, my boo. Good to see you. Sarah said, thanks, coach. I miss you as well. Vandalyn is here. Vandalyn just turned a big 4-5. Vandalyn said, I'm grateful for the shot of lime juice I had this morning. Oh, that sounds good. I think that's what I'll get to this morning. I haven't eaten anything yet. I've been drinking a lot of water because my body needs it. Crystal's here. Crystal said, I'm grateful for letting go. Yes, I love it. Whoever this is said, I'm grateful for tough conversations. Oh, Regina, that led to better clarity. Without this community, I would not have had the courage to address the tough shit. That's what I'm talking about. I love that you are doing the work. That is so amazing, Regina. Shout out to you. All right, so let's get into this thing. I'm picking from the deck, okay? I am picking from the deck. Go ahead and tag your folks. LMI, let your power groups know we're live. And everybody else, tag your folks. Let your folks know we are here and we are making it happen. Let me go ahead and two pulled out. All right. Sit in it is 147. Do you guys ever feel resistance when you pick a card? You'd be like, oh, I didn't want that card. It'd be like that sometimes. I feel y'all's energy. It'd be like that sometimes. And then at the bottom of the deck, of course, she's looking back at you like, you know what it is. You know what time it is. All right, so let's get into it. And I'm ready to talk about boundaries. Creating boundaries is one of my most favorite things to talk about. And it's also one of my most favorite things to do. I'm going to talk about the anxiety of creating boundaries. I'm going to talk about how to communicate a new boundary you've created. I'm going to talk about what boundaries actually are. So get your notepad, get your pen, be prepared. We're going to get into it. All right, so let's do it. The first pick of the MASH pick is sit in it. Type in the comments, sit in it. Go ahead and type it in the comments. I'm ready to sit in it. If you're a little bit resistant, it's all right. It's okay. Go ahead and type it in the comments. I am ready to sit in it. Type it in the comments. Let's get into it. Reflection on what you're feeling can be uncomfortable when you're not used to being in a space of connection with yourself. Deep breath in the nose and out of the mouth. Here it is again, right? Reflection on what you're feeling can be uncomfortable when you're not used to being in a space of connection with yourself, right? Allow what you're feeling to come up and come out so that it can be acknowledged and resolved. When we run from it, when we rush it, when we are resistant to it, when we are frustrated, and all of those are natural and normal. But when we don't allow ourselves to sit in that shit, let me tell you, it don't go nowhere, right? You can tuck it, you can hide it, you can put it under the rug, but it is still there. And the quicker you allow yourself to sit in what you're feeling, to acknowledge what you're experiencing, the faster you're able to do something about it. This is for somebody. If it is for you, just type ouch in the comments. Just type ouch in the comments. Just type it in the comments. Ayana's in the building. Hey, boo. Hey, she said happy Friday and happy Lunar New Year. Yes. Come on, y'all. Yes, I see you. Crystal said yes, sitting in. Tashanta, hey boo, hey, so good to see you. Yes, 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 yes. I see it. I see it. Adina said, I am ready to sit in it. Ooh, ooh, ooh. This is for you. Just go ahead and put ouch in the comments. Ebony said, ouch. Adina said, ouch. I get it. I get it. I get it. But sitting in it allows for processing to happen. It allows for you to actually acknowledge when I sit in what I'm feeling versus rushing to respond or to react or to do something about it. It really gives me the clarity that I need to take the next step. It's not just about like suffering, because that's not what you're doing when you're sitting in it, right? Even if it's uncomfortable, what you're doing is you're allowing, right? Ooh, and guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Allowing came up in the deck. We're going to talk about it. All right. Up next, the second pick is card number 20. Loving me is easy. Go ahead and type it in the comments. I was taking this workshop yesterday, this virtual workshop, and they were talking about self-love and loving in relationships, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. That's what we're talking about, boundaries today. It's on the list to talk about because we are approaching lovers weekend. Shout out to all the lovers, those who have beautiful, amazing, abundant partners who they're loving and growing and expanding with this weekend. And also shout out to those who I'm a single ladies and gentlemen who are watching. I'm a part of the single folks crew, so I get it, I get it, I get it. And we have an opportunity to show so much self-love to each other. I bought myself a beautiful box of Ghirardelli's chocolate covered heart because that's my thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking myself to dinner on Sunday night. I'm doing all the things, Al. I got a red dress as bad as I don't know what, body yaddy yaddy. I'm gonna do that. My face gonna be cute. Everything, my haircut gonna be laid. I'm doing all of that, honey. I'm taking me out. Loving me is easy. The question was, is loving you easy? Or is loving you hard, right? Is it hard for people to love you? And is it difficult? Is it easy, right? Loving me, right, is easy. Loving yourself is easy when you finally start to see who you really are. That's the first set of this card. Loving yourself is easy when you finally start to see who you really are. Loving yourself is easy when you accept all of yourself, when you know that you are not your body, your hair, your mistakes, clothes, cars, house, bank account, or accomplishments. All of those things change and do all the things, right? You are so much more. You are an amazingly complex, layered, dynamic, beautiful, powerful source of high vibrating energy. There is absolutely no one like you, and that is one of your many superpowers. Loving you is easy when you practice aligning with the truth of your highest self, right? So other people may find it difficult or hard to love you. That's their shit. But you loving you must be easy. I told myself yesterday, like, man, I love that I love myself so much. I care about me. I care about my sleep. I care about my skin. I care about how I feel in my body. I care about the thoughts that run through my mind because they're not, I am not my thoughts, so I get to manage them, right? I care about my well-being. I care about my happiness and my wellness. What do you love about yourself? What do you care? How do you show self-love to yourself? Because of course, pedicures and manicures and a haircut and hairdo and all those things are part of it, massage and all that stuff too. But then it goes deeper, right? Because those are surface things. Those are external ways to show love. But how do you internally show love to yourself? Is it meditation? Hey guys, I'm back. The internet is killing me. It's been killing me all week. I don't know what's going on with it. Okay, can everybody see me, hear me? Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Let me know that you can see me, hear me. Okay. Yes? Okay, good. So, boundaries. Let's talk about it, right? So, boundaries is a part of self love too, right? And when you recognize that I love myself, this is how I feel, this is what's going on with me, when y'all tapping y'all screens like shit, 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 what's going on? It was me. Sorry, guys. My internet. Boundaries. When you recognize that your boundaries, right, are a part of self love, when you recognize that when I show up in my boundary, that's me exemplifying self love, it's a game changer. Today, we're going to talk about it. I'm going to go quick. So, here we are. All right. So, that is it. Loving me is easy. You already got it. Boom. Number 5, allow, right? Type in the comments, I am ready to allow all good things in my life. Type it in the comments. I am ready to allow all good things in my life. Type it in the comments. Allowing is like this for me. It's like yes, yes, and yes. I'm ready to allow all the good things, everything that is for me, right? Everything that I desire, everything that I want gets to show up in my now, today, right now. I am ready, right? Type in the comments, I am ready to allow all the good things in my life, right? So when you make that declaration and you shift your mindset to allowing all the good shit in your life, it finds you. It finds a way to find you. And sometimes good things show up in packages that aren't attractive. That's the boom, that's the cat, that's the pow. I had a guy come yesterday to remove my TV off the wall and patch up the hole from the TVs coming down. He didn't do the best job the first time. Well, I guess he did a decent job, but the hole started sinking because it needed more of the putty stuff to go inside, right? Or whatever that stuff is. So I had to call him back to come back to do it again, right? And I was kind of frustrated, like, man, between this guy and Jonathan, I just want people to come and do 100% of what they say they're going to do. You're getting paid. You're getting paid to do what you came to do. Just do what you came to do. But what it is, right? I'm having those experiences because it gets to teach me, right? I get to practice because I know it, right? But I get to practice being able to ask for what I want. And then when I don't get it, being able to easily release as well, right? So when people don't do what they're supposed to do, it's not my job, your job to figure out, well, why won't you do it? And it's not your job to understand why they didn't, right? It's your job to decide, hey, listen, this is what I need, not happening, so I get to release you, right? And in those moments, I get to practice it. So it can be frustrating because all the good things that I'm allowing in my life, including practicing, communicating what it is that I want and how I want it, and then easily letting people go who can't meet the standard, that is a part of all the good shit coming into my life. Does that make sense to everybody? Type in the comments, yes, Coach P, I got it, if that makes sense. So sometimes the gift comes differently than what you expect it to come. The package, sometimes the gift comes in a package differently than what you expect. For those people who are, I got some folks in some of our communities who are struggling in relationships or struggling in communicating what they want, or people are showing up like feeling like they're being harassed. Like, man, I'm over here minding my business, and here you come with your bullshit. Why are you coming over here with that bullshit? And then you got to deal with it. Remember, the way that you deal with it gives you an opportunity to practice more of what it is that you said you wanted to experience. So if somebody's bringing some bullshit to you out of the blue, right? Take a deep breath in the nose, out of the mouth. Allow yourself to get the gift, even if it comes in a package that is unattractive. I know I said a lot. I hope that makes sense. I know I said a lot. I hope that makes sense. Because sometimes it's like, damn, like when Jonathan came and cut up my papers. I'm still mad about that. My wrapping papers for my glasses and stuff supposed to have been packing and said he was a professional packer, but the way he cut them papers up, it showed otherwise. But it gave me an opportunity to communicate what it is that I wanted and to let go of someone who did not have the capacity. Because I had a pattern of working with people way past the time that they've shown me who they are. Like, man, when I get it, you may not know it. Let me teach it to you. Have you ever been one of those people who wanted to teach it to somebody? Well, you don't got it. So maybe you're here for me to teach it to you. And then you teach it to them. And then they run off. They don't do the job the way you needed it to. And you unsatisfied because you had to do all this damn work to teach them. Right? Or you can just get your ass up and go to the top of the top, the expert, right? In my case, time was short, so I had to do it myself. But next time, I won't be doing it myself. I'm just going to go to the very top of the top. I'm going to hire a company, right, who specializes in this thing, right? And if that company doesn't do the job the way I want it to, then I can easily let them go too. But the idea is to release. and not try to teach people, right? Because that's not your job. Your job is not to teach people those things unless you actually get paid to teach people those things. Unless it's your kids or some shit like that, a lover that you want to be patient with. But you don't have to hold on to people past the expiration date because you can see why they don't get it. Because that's the issue. Let me pause right there. That's the issue, right? When you have a gift of being able to see people and you can see why, and you got a lot of compassion about, I understand why this is not working out for you, or right, you're just one of those people that you're like, man, well, this person had a hard childhood, and the dog ate their homework, and their pet worm Willie died, and blah, 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 and you can find all the reasons why. That still does not mean that they're supposed to stay. You can recognize the reasons why, have compassion and grace for that, and still release them to be well on their way. Type in the comments, yes, yes, if you heard what I said. It's and both, right? Because not being able to see or understand why the person did what they did or why they can't do the job that they said they could do could make you frustrated and maybe go write a bad review or tell somebody about it. But when you recognize it, that's not recognizing it and understanding it is not a clue to keep going with it. It's not a clue to stay in a relationship. It's not a gesture. It's not a sign to stay connected. It's not a sign to keep them on board. It's a sign to communicate what it is that you need. And if they're unable to provide it based on what they went through in their childhood, based on blah, 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 then your job is still to communicate, because your needs cannot go unmet because a person had a hard life in the beginning, or because you can see why they can't do the job today. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. All right. So I see you guys. Yes, yes, and yes. Adina said you don't have to hold on to people past the expiration date. Woohoo! Yes. I love it. Karen said over here jumping out of my seat. Yes, I see y'all. Shanique said pissed. Siri correcting my curse words. Shanique said, OMG, I do this all the time. Then be pissed off with folks who don't show up the way I expect. Yes. Listen. I just want to pass that message on. Just want to pass the message on. All right, so let's talk very quickly, because I got to get this in quick and fast. Let's talk very quickly about boundaries. Somebody type in the comments, boundaries. I want to talk about boundaries. Boundaries come up a lot, especially in the Life Mastery Ignite community and here in the MASH Collective, but also in general, because we're consistently teaching people how to treat us, right? And a lot of times we use boundaries as a weapon, and as a weapon in response to someone not doing something the way we would like them to, or response as a weapon in response to, or as protection in response to someone not treating us the way we want to be treated. Yes, you've been there. Type in the comments, I've been there. If you've been there, if you pulled a boundary, I'm going to put a boundary right here because you don't know how to act. Boom, here goes the boundary. The thing is, boundaries are best and most effective when they're used as a preventive measure. Holla if you hear me, boo. Boundaries are most effective and best, right? Best and most effective when they're used as a preventive measure. Meaning, when I set boundaries around what I want, how I will be spoken to, how I won't be spoken to, my time, my energy, my efforts, whatever, in advance, then, right, the boundaries that I have to adjust are easily communicated, because this is something that's always been in existence. This is not something that I'm doing as a result, as a response to your behavior, right? However, most people become familiar with creating and setting boundaries as a result of someone's poor, bad, or distasteful behavior. Let's get into it. All right, so here it is. When you think about boundaries, one of the things that I've always said from the beginning, and I want you to remember, is that boundaries in and of itself, right, is designed to keep self-love in. Type in the comments, my boundaries reflect my self-love. Type in the comments, my boundaries reflect my self-love. This is some grown folks talk right here, right? This grown woman shit, grown man shit, right? Boundaries are not often easy to communicate because of our fear about how our boundary and our standard might make someone else feel. If you grew up in a house, in a family like I did, where boundaries were not even, I never even heard the word boundaries growing up. I didn't even know what a boundary was. My mother is a habitual boundary crosser. At least she used to be, not as much now. Not with me, because I've taught her, right? I've taught her how I want to be treated. And as a result, when we teach people how we want to be treated, it helps them to acknowledge how they want to be treated and communicate that for themselves as well. So, boundaries, my favorite thing to talk about. It is a beautiful reflection of self-love as you are going into Lovers Weekend and Self-Love Weekend, however you decide to celebrate this Valentine's Day weekend. Here's what I want you to recognize. You get to create boundaries that uplift, align, and allow for beautiful relationships. Tell you a little bit of story. When I started to create boundaries with my mom, it was hard for her. When I first said, no, this doesn't work for me, and I didn't budge, and she did everything to manipulate, to make me feel guilty, to make me feel shame, to push me to do what she wanted me to do, that was different than how I was behaving now. It was hard for her. And it was also hard for me. So let's go ahead and get that shit out of the way. That setting boundaries for the first time isn't easy. Type it in the comments. Setting boundaries for the first time isn't easy, right? And it may be easy for you, but most times it's not, right? The reason why is because when you've lived in relationships and set certain expectations that allow people to show up in your life a certain way, and you decide one day that shit no longer works for me, I am stopping it here. It takes adjustment, not just for yourself, but for the other person as well. It may be the very best thing for you. And then the moment you get ready to set it, the person makes says something that triggers you feeling guilty. And now you feel shame. And you're like, dang, well, you're right. I mean, I ain't got to be all of that. I guess we can go ahead and do this and do that. And then you allow it. And then as you move away from it, you feel like shit because, damn, I still don't have my needs met. And this still isn't working for me. But the other person is happy as shit, right? When we create boundaries, and we allow ourselves the adjustment period of it feeling awkward, weird, hard, hurtful, and shame, we are on our way to the most amazing relationships we can possibly have. Let's keep going. There are 5 things, right? I took some time to write down how I communicate setting boundaries for my clients with their most important people in their lives and not, and how I create boundaries for myself. Because a lot of times I'm just moving and I don't always put the process together in order for me to explain it. I just tell you what it is and you go for it, right? Here it is, right? I got 5 of them for you. Get your pen and your pad ready. Number 1, get clear about what you want. There was a time when I would show up at my family's house, especially during the holidays, and they hadn't seen me in a while. And the first thing they want to talk about is my weight. They want to either talk about, oh, girl, you've been eating, or, dang, you done got skinny. You look good. I'll be mentioned. Oh, gosh. The internet is acting weird again. Can everybody see me, hear me? Yes? Okay, good. So you recognizing, right, what you want and getting clear about it is the start of creating boundaries. Show up at my family's house, they want to talk about my weight. I knew instantly whether they said I looked good because I was skinny, or whether they said I was, I was thick, or I looked a little bit more plump. I didn't want to discuss my weight when I visited my family. I didn't want to discuss my weight when I visited my mom. So I decided off the top that what I want is to visit my family without discussing my weight. Number 1 is get clear about what you want. Type that in the comments. Number 1, somebody type it in the comments for me. Number 1, get clear about what you want. We're talking about setting boundaries. Boundaries keep self-love in, period, right? I want you to recognize that boundaries keep self-love in. And when you create boundaries, it helps, right, others to know how to treat you. So you not being passive aggressive, upset, not saying how you feel, not saying what hurt your feelings. They done said some shit, they done crossed the boundary that you done created, or that you done decided, or you feeling some kind of way about what they said. They don't even know. They still moving how they've been moving with you because you've been acting like it's all right, right? That's been you, yes. All right, this message is for you. Number one, get clear about what you want. What I want is to visit my family without discussing my weight. What do you want? Type in the comments something that you want, right? What I want is, let's see. What I want is thinking about a boundary I recently set. What I want is to communicate to my staff what it is that I need done and to receive that in the time frame that's agreed upon. That is a boundary for me. I want that to happen, right? That is what I want. The reason why I want you to focus on what you want versus what you don't want is because what you want is what the universe hears. Got it? All right. And you want God to move the universe on your behalf in this, right? And so your job is to show up and communicate and be clear, right? So number one, be clear about what you want. Number two, write down what your boundary is. So example, my boundary would be, I will not discuss my weight with my family. That is my boundary. So number two, down, right? And I'm gonna tell you why it's important to write it down. Write down what you want your boundary to be. Write down what your boundary is, right? So Karen said, what I want is to not be cut off when I am speaking. I like that. That's a good boundary. I love that. I love that. I love that. So what I want is to be able to complete my sentence when I'm speaking to others. I love that. Sharon says, what I want is to have clear communication and reciprocation in each of my relationships. I like it. So pick one. We're going to talk about one. Sharon said, let's throw all this shit up in here now that we're talking about it. Let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see it. Shanique said, work boundary. No work communication over the weekend. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right. So here it is, right? You're writing down. So number one, you're clear about what you want. Number two, you've written it down. Number three, prepare. Here's where the rubber meets the road. Here's what some of y'all punk out. You get scared. I'm in it with you. I get low anxiety sometimes too, even though Coach P tough as nails. I get low anxiety too because I'm human. Sometimes it's tough to communicate new boundaries. So number three, rubber meet the road. Prepare to communicate the boundary in advance by writing what you'll say to the person or the business or the entity or the team, right? Number three, I hope I didn't say number three. Number three, prepare to communicate the boundary in advance by writing it down, right? I literally just walked a client through this, and I walk clients through this often. And I was like, let me just put all 5 of the steps together. So when I communicate it, everybody got it, because y'all love steps. When I say just do this thing, y'all be like, Coach P, I need examples. And I like examples too. So prepare yourself, right, for the communication. When you prepare yourself for the communication by writing it down, right, by writing down what you're going to say in advance, what it does is it helps to alleviate the fear of rejection, the fear of them trying to convince you that, no, that's not how it's been. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't da-da-da-da-da. Like, right, when you write it down in advance, it allows you to get out your jitters. It allows you to release the anxiety, the fear, and it allows you to clearly understand, even for yourself, what it is that you want to convey. Everybody got it? So number three is prepare to communicate the boundary by writing it down in advance. So for me, that would look like, right, with my mother. Oh, and of course, I didn't say this either, but it helps to manage your emotions, your disappointment, and your hurt. And the reason why I mentioned that is because when you write it down in advance and you prepare to communicate the boundary, now I've already decided what I'm going to say. I've ran through what you possibly might say, and I'm okay with it. I've already heard it in my mind. I've seen it play out in my mind, and now it doesn't catch me off guard. It doesn't make me feel any kind of way. I am strong. I am flat-footed, and I am ready to speak. Got it? Got it. All right. So here's what it would sound like for me. Mama or family. So we'll just say my mom, right? Mama, whenever we talk or I visit you, you bring up my weight. Talking about my weight makes me feel, right? So for you is, right? Hey, listen, I've decided, for Shanique's example, I've decided that I am no longer communicating about work on the weekends. Call me or message me on the weekends about work. It takes away from my family time. Moving forward, I'd like for you to respect, right? Or I need you to respect the boundary that I've set around work. I need you to respect my ask, which is to not communicate about work until Monday. Got it? So for me, again, it says, Mama, whenever I talk or visit you, you bring up my weight. Talking about my weight makes me feel. So I'm giving them a direct communication about how their action is impacting me, right? Doesn't have to be dramatic or emotional because I've already written it down. I'm just having a conversation. It's real easy. Makes me feel uncomfortable. Moving forward, I need you to respect how I feel and not bring up my weight. And then she'll say, oh man, I didn't know I made you feel that way. I apologize. Or she might say, well, I didn't bring up your weight last time. So-and-so brought up your weight. It's like, hey, mama, either way, just want to have a conversation with you in advance so that when I do come over, when I do call you, it doesn't happen. Does that make sense to everybody? I want to make sure that you got it. So, and I want you to have a language. This is the most important part about this. Life Mastery and MASH Collective. And if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much. I want you to have the language to communicate it so that you're not just out here like, listen, I said I don't like it. And that's all it is to it. But you're able to communicate it in a way that makes other people eager to respect it because it's so clear. You're not blaming them. You're not saying it's your fault. But no, this is how, when you bring that up, this is how it makes me feel, right? When I visit you, this is the experience that I'm having, and this is how it makes me feel. Moving forward, here's what I would like. Versus you being upset, and it's the 100th time, and you never said anything, and now you got machete to neck, and you're ready to kill. Not necessary. Number 5, decide and write down in advance how you will respond when your weight or the email comes from work or the person cuts you off when you're talking again. Go ahead and write down in advance how you're going to respond when it happens again. The reason why you want to go ahead and decide that in advance is because, again, you don't want to be caught off guard and you don't want to have to apologize for cussing somebody out because you put in a boundary, they didn't respect it or forgot the boundary, and now you're ready to blow their heads off. Not necessary. That's an expended amount of energy that you don't need to waste. All you need to do is prepare in advance that if my mama brings up my weight again, I'm going to say to her, hey, mom, remember I asked you not to bring up my weight. Remember I told you how it made me feel? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's talk about something else. Hey, guys, I got this email on Saturday, and this is you responding on Monday, Shanique. Or if it's an emergency or urgency that they put on it, you know, this is you responding whenever you respond, right? Hey, listen, guys, remember I asked you guys not to send me any emails over the weekend because I'm not communicating with any work-related issues during the weekend. Thank you so much. Remember to respect that ask, right? That's you being able to reinforce it. Because the other part to this is you have gurged up so much courage to even create. It was already hard enough for you to create the boundary to begin with. And when you finally did and they don't respect it, now you feel deflated or you feel disrespected. And it's really not always a matter of disrespect as much as it is people learn precept upon precept. And if you've been showing up a certain way all this time and now you got a new boundary, you can expect to have to repeat that boundary or that ask again. And then you can also allow yourself not to attach. They're disrespecting me. They don't care about me. They don't love me. Because if they did, they would blah, blah, blah. That's not always the case. Most times people just are in their habit of dealing with you how they always have been. And when you take the time to remind them, hey, I know you said you wanted to talk about Keisha again, but remember I asked you that if you and I were going to be in a relationship that I didn't want to talk about Keisha. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I forgot you told me you didn't want to talk about Keisha. Yeah. She's still my friend. She's still your friend. I know y'all into it, but I don't want to talk about that. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry. Versus you suffering through. Just a gentle reminder. And then the person gets on board. If they're like my mom and they might be persistent, they might be like, oh, yeah, you didn't tell me that. But listen, one more thing. And it's like, not one more thing, mama. I don't want to talk about it. Okay, you're right. And then they move on. But you deciding in advance how you're going to respond, decide and write down in advance how you're going to respond when they do it again is one of the biggest and best keys to your success. Let me know that you got it. Type in the comments, I'm ready to set boundaries if you got it. Shanique says, woohoo! I'm so excited over here. Yay! Miko said, this is so on time. I need to set some new boundaries in place with my team. I totally get that. I love that. Sharon said, this is really good and needed implementing it today. Yes, I'm glad you got it. It makes so much sense. Awesome. I love it. Somebody said, I love this live. This was definitely hitting me in a good way. Yay. I love that. Type in the comments, I am ready to set boundaries if you got it. I want to make sure you got this. And this is my flow. This is literally how I live my life. You call my mama today, she will tell you these are the steps. And this was organic for me But when I also research, a lot of people who talk about boundaries talk about it from this perspective too. But for Precious, for Coach P, this works because then I'm not pissed off at my mom because she overstepped a boundary again. She forgot, or she's in her habit of what I've allowed, or she's in her habit of how she's used to moving, even if I never allowed. My job is to show up for Precious in this very self-love way and say, hey, listen, not music to my ears. I don't like to talk about that. It doesn't make me feel good. So let's not talk about it. And I have to say it more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times. It's not a matter of disrespect. You can tell when somebody's blatantly disrespecting you, and then you can address that because that's a whole nother boundary. But trust yourself to communicate in a way that serves and supports what it is that you want to align with. And it does mean being prepared to communicate more than once. That's the biggest part about this, that once you get up the courage to create the boundary, write it down in advance and communicate the boundary. Also be prepared to re-communicate over and over again that boundary. 1, because you're worthy of it and you're worth it. And 2, because people move in habit, repetition, and behavior and patterns. It's not necessarily about them wanting to disrespect you. Most times it's not personal at all. I say don't take none of that shit personal, but most times it's just people moving in their habit, behaviors, and patterns. I hope that makes sense. All right. Perfect. I'm glad y'all are excited. Yay. I love that y'all got it. Boom, boom, boom. All right, y'all. So I got a couple of announcements. Announcement. I thought this was like number 3 or something, but it's not. Announcement, right? First thing is our prize for our top engagers. You know, you guys have been rocking it all this week, all last week, the last 4 weeks. You've been doing an amazing job of rocking it when it comes to being engaged in the MASH Collective, responding to the posts, doing the work, showing up on the Luncheon Live with Coach P, and I'm so grateful for it. We got some new folks up in here who are our top engagers. Shout out to Adina Porter. Adina said, let me show y'all what time it is. Let me get up in these MASH streets and let me be connected. Adina represents the Life Mastery Ignite community. I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much for showing up. For you guys who are new, who didn't know, we give away shit on Fridays. I give away nice prizes too. I get stuff in the mail. It'd be MASH merch. And if you're in Life Mastery Ignite and you got all the MASH merch, it'd be other stuff, my favorite things that I like to send to you guys. And so shout out to Adina Porter who got that thing. Y'all give us some love in the comments. And one more again, where Ebony Williams at? Ebony been up in this thing making it happen. Ebony represents the MASH Collective, and she has been the most active. Let me give y'all some stats. In fact, let me give y'all some stats. Now, somebody was trying to be up on Ebony Hills, but let me give y'all some stats on how this thing works. Let's see. Let's look at the stats. According to Facebook, right? Adina thing with 144 comments and 320 likes. Okay, Ebony's up in this thing with 145 and 145 comments, and this is over time, right? This is average, right? And 144 thumbs up. That includes this post right here. When you show up for this live, that includes what we show up, how we're active in the community on the actual individual post. It's all things related to this community, anything related to the MASH Collective community. And so y'all got prizes coming. Ebony done won 3 weeks in a row. If you are in the MASH Collective, y'all better get to it because Ebony is kicking ass and taking names. Okay. All right. So we got Adina Porter and Ebony Williams, who are our winners for this week. I'm so excited for you guys. Make sure that you show up and get to it because I got prizes that are coming. Here is the second announcement, right? That's the first announcement. Second announcement. Next week, next Friday, we will not have a lunch and live with Coach P. The reason why is because we will be in retreat. Shout out to everybody. Excuse me. Shout out to everybody who is a part of Life Mastery Excel. Life Mastery Excel is a part of our echelon personal development journey. It's an intimate group of badass, risk-taking, manifesting life creators. And we have 2 retreats every 6 months, in-person retreats. And so we are in retreat next week. We kick off on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and check out on Sunday. I can't wait to see everybody. I'm so excited about it. So we will not have a lunch and live next Friday with Coach P. Make sure you replay it. Remember, when you replay an active, I'm still going to give out a prize, right? We're still giving out our top engagers prizes in the community. That doesn't stop. So make sure you show up and show all the way out. That is it. And that is all. Make sure y'all, if you're not following me on Instagram, my Instagrams be popping. The stories especially. I'm a stories type person. So if you're not watching and following my stories on Facebook and Instagram, you're missing out, boo. Make sure you follow my stories. Make sure you, of course, add people to the MASH Collective community who you know can benefit from being a part of this amazingness. And of course, follow me on Instagram at Hello Coach P and on YouTube at Precious Bivings. I love y'all so much. Have a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious Friday. Have fun setting those boundaries. Celebrate the love, the companion, and the self-love as I am. Have a good day, y'all. Peace.